AEW just suffered its most shocking collapse of the year, and nobody backstage saw it coming. Insiders now claim Tony Khan is officially in panic mode. The chaos started the moment the overnight numbers came in. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing as AEW's ratings dropped a massive 18% in a single week. The kind of fall that sends TV executives scrambling for answers and producers sprinting down hallways. Viewers on social media went wild, asking how a show that was once hyped as WWE's biggest threat had suddenly hit its lowest point of the season. The crowd erupted into chaos online, with fans arguing over whether the booking, the injuries, or the constant backstage drama finally pushed the company over the edge. The panic reportedly started the moment Tony Khan walked backstage after the main event. Wrestlers noticed he was pacing fast, talking to 3 different producers at once, demanding breakdown sheets, audience graphs, and segment data. People close to the situation said Khan kept repeating one line under his breath: "This can't happen again. This can't happen again." And the reason? The ratings didn't just dip, they collapsed hardest in the exact segment AEW expected to dominate. New storylines failed to land. Surprise debuts didn't hit. Fan interest evaporated at the worst possible moment. An insider said Tony Khan was visibly frustrated, brushing past talent and urgently adjusting future match plans on the spot. Backstage, the roster was split. Some believed it was only a temporary hiccup. Others quietly whispered that AEW had been ignoring warning signs for months. Certain wrestlers claimed the show had become too unpredictable, too chaotic, and too unfocused to compete with the momentum building across professional wrestling right now. Fans echoed the same concerns online, pointing out that the storytelling felt rushed and the big matches weren't being protected like they used to be. Yet the most shocking part, sources now claim Tony Khan immediately scheduled an emergency production meeting, something AEW rarely does unless the HL situation is extremely serious. Wrestlers were reportedly told to be available for urgent direction changes and a possible creative overhaul. Several staff members suggested that networks were also watching closely. With TV rights negotiations heating up, an unexpected crash like this can change everything. Executives want stability. They want consistent numbers. They want a show they can rely on. And right now, AEW looks anything but stable. Tony Khan has already begun making moves behind the scenes. He's reportedly reached out to talent he hasn't used in months. He's reworking story arcs. He's demanding stronger finishes, cleaner pacing, and bigger hooks. But the question hanging over the entire locker room is simple and terrifying. If this 18% crash is just the beginning, what will Tony Khan do next to save AEW from sinking even deeper? Just when fans thought the 18% ratings crash was the worst of it, the real backstage drama exploded only hours later. And this time, Tony Khan couldn't hide the pressure. The moment news of the ratings collapse spread through the locker room, tension grew like wildfire. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing as wrestlers began whispering about major creative changes, sudden rewrites, and possible push cancellations. Viewers on social media went wild, turning the situation into a trending storm. With thousands debating whether AEW had finally reached its breaking point, the crowd erupted into chaos across Twitter, Reddit, and Discord as insiders leaked hints that something massive was coming. According to multiple reports, Tony Khan immediately summoned several top stars into a private room, a room usually reserved only for emergency decisions. Wrestlers who walked by described the atmosphere as silent, serious, and not like Tony at all. One source claims Khan had a stack of papers in his hand, breaking down minute-by-minute audience numbers and calling out segments that underperformed beyond expectation. Some talent tried to reassure him, saying one bad week wasn't the end of the world, but others admitted privately that AEW had been ignoring glaring problems, confusing booking, sudden storyline drop-offs, overbooked interference, and endless surprise debuts that didn't actually lead anywhere. Fans echoed the same frustration online, calling this the moment AEW had to wake up. But things escalated when word spread that Warner Brothers executives had reached out for a status update. That's when, reportedly, Tony Khan's frustration turned into visible concern. Networks don't message after a random ratings dip, they message when they're alarmed. Backstage morale dipped further when 2 mid-card wrestlers were abruptly pulled from planned storylines. Producers said it was due to creative reshuffling, but the roster wasn't buying it. Rumors swirled that Tony Khan was preparing a massive overhaul, cutting weaker arcs and rewriting entire segments to fix the damage as quickly as possible. Then came the biggest bombshell. AEW's analytics team informed Khan that the ratings crash wasn't caused by a single match or segment, but a pattern of declining interest over the past month. This wasn't an accident, it was a warning that the audience was losing patience. Fans couldn't believe the leaks. Viewers on social media went wild again, posting charts, comparisons, and theories about who might be blamed. Some pointed at the booking team. Others blamed specific wrestlers. A few even insisted AEW needed a full creative reboot. Meanwhile, Tony Khan doubled down. He ordered immediate changes to the upcoming show, faster pacing, fewer filler segments, and a focus on star power. He even reportedly reached out to a recently injured top star, asking if they could return earlier than planned. But despite the adjustments, one chilling truth hung in the air. If AEW's next show doesn't bounce back, Tony Khan may be forced to make the most drastic decision of his entire career. What happened next inside AEW's headquarters left veterans stunned and Tony Khan more desperate than ever. This was the moment everything shifted. HOOK. What happened next inside AEW's headquarters left veterans speechless, rookies nervous, and Tony Khan more desperate than anyone had ever imagined before that day. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing as new leaks painted a darker picture than expected, revealing just how unstable morale had quietly become inside. Viewers on social media went wild after insiders claimed Tony Khan canceled 3 creative pitches, each involving major stars who were blindsided by the rewrite. The crowd erupted into chaos online when rumors spread that a top network executive requested a performance report, something rarely demanded without major corporate concern. Backstage tensions reached a boiling point as wrestlers debated whether AEW's declining numbers reflected creative issues, timing, or deeper structural problems nobody wanted to acknowledge. Some insiders insisted the crisis was fixable with planning, but others warned the company had become too scattered for audiences seeking clear direction and stronger storytelling. Tony Khan reportedly pored over every analytics sheet, highlighting segments where audience drop-off spiked, especially during matches he personally expected to deliver massive engagement. Fans couldn't believe backstage sources confirmed. Tony's frustration peaked when he realized the company lost viewers even during promoted segments, a red flag that shook staff. Producers initiated emergency collaboration sessions, urging wrestlers to refine promos, tighten pacing, and emphasize character motivation to rebuild trust, with viewers losing patience week after week. But frustration exploded when a veteran reportedly confronted creative staff, arguing inconsistent storytelling harmed AEW's credibility and that wrestlers needed clearer direction to maintain commitment. Meanwhile, whispers spread that Tony Khan planned an aggressive booking reset, shifting spotlight toward proven draws, reducing experimental segments, and enforcing stricter narrative cohesion across episodes. Viewers on social media went wild again when leaks hinted at potential surprise returns, emergency call-ups, and rushed rivalries designed to generate momentum before numbers slipped. Some fans welcomed the rumored shake-ups, but others feared the reactionary approach meant AEW would abandon meaningful slow-burn arcs that previously defined its unique standing among fans. Reports indicated Tony demanded improved production discipline, including tighter camera cues, cleaner audio mixes, and more dramatic presentation to ensure every moment felt significant and compelling. Backstage staff noted Tony's exhaustion was visible, with the pressure of negotiations weighing heavily as he attempted to balance talent expectations with network demands for consistent. Multiple wrestlers reportedly met privately to discuss concerns, fearing drastic changes might result in reduced screen time, stalled pushes, or sudden storyline removals beyond their yet. Some rising stars viewed the shakeup as opportunity, believing Tony's urgent restructuring could finally elevate overlooked performers hungry for breakout matches and more prominent arcs. The crisis deepened when analytics confirmed younger viewers disengaged fastest, alarming executives who prioritized growth among demographics essential for long-term expansion and lucrative sponsorship opportunities. Tony reportedly vowed to implement immediate adjustments, emphasizing bolder twists, stronger storytelling commitments, and improved pacing intended to recapture fan confidence before the downturn caused strain. But despite renewed urgency, one question haunted everyone backstage, echoing through locker room with chilling uncertainty about whether AEW could recover from spiraling momentum issues. And then, another leak hit the internet, one that could change everything. Just when AEW thought the situation couldn't get any worse, the most explosive leak of the entire crisis detonated across the internet. And this time, the shockwaves reached every corner of the wrestling world. The report claimed that a major AEW star was considering walking out, frustrated with the creative chaos and the company's sudden shift in direction after the 18% ratings crash. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing as the rumor spread like wildfire, naming the star as someone Tony Khan heavily depended on for upcoming storylines. Viewers on social media went wild, dissecting every clue, every promo, and every backstage hint from the past month. The crowd erupted into chaos as fans argued whether AEW was truly on the verge of losing one of its biggest names during the worst possible moment. Backstage, the mood instantly shifted. Wrestlers whispered about the leak with nervous, cautious voices. Some insisted it was exaggerated. Others believed the report was not only true but inevitable. They argued that mounting creative confusion, abrupt rewrites, and increased pressure on the roster made an exit almost guaranteed. Producers, meanwhile, scrambled to get answers, fearing that losing a top star during a ratings emergency could send the network into full panic mode. Sources claim Tony Khan reacted immediately. He pulled several senior staff members into a closed-door meeting, demanding to know who was talking to the press and how this information escaped company was. Witnesses described Tony as laser-focused, intense, and determined not to let leadership appear weak. But the deeper issue was clear. Finding the leak mattered, yet repairing morale mattered even more. Meanwhile, AEW's network partners were monitoring everything. More emails came in requesting clarity, damage control, and stability. Plans, corporate language that translates to one thing: fix this now. Fans couldn't believe it when insiders revealed the network was tracking real-time fan sentiment data, worried that the negative buzz could hurt advertising interest. Inside the locker room, several younger talents expressed frustration, saying they were tired of sudden changes, last-minute direction shifts, and uncertain booking. Others were more sympathetic, acknowledging Tony Khan was under tremendous pressure, juggling creative obligations, business negotiations, and a rapidly evolving fan landscape. Still, the tension was undeniable. But then came the real bombshell. A second leak dropped, this time revealing that AEW was planning a massive on-air twist designed specifically to spike ratings and reset momentum. Viewers on social media went wild with speculation. Would it be a shocking heel turn? A legacy wrestler returning? A Forbidden Door crossover? Or something completely unexpected? The leaks claimed Tony Khan's plan wasn't just a storyline change. It was a company-defining gamble, one big enough to either revive AEW's momentum or destroy it completely. Wrestlers backstage grew anxious. Producers debated whether this twist would be seen as bold innovation or desperate damage control. Fans online begged AEW not to overreact, but others demanded something huge to justify the hype. And now, with the next show only hours away, one terrifying question hangs over everything. What if the twist fails? What if AEW's biggest gamble becomes its biggest disaster? The moment of truth had arrived. AEW's next live show was about to air, and all eyes were on Tony Khan's bold gamble. Would it save the company, or shatter it entirely? The arena lights dimmed, and fans couldn't believe what they were seeing as the opening segment began with a dramatic cinematic package, highlighting the company's most controversial stars. Viewers on social media went wild instantly, flooding Twitter with theories and excitement. The crowd erupted into chaos when a familiar figure appeared unexpectedly on the Titantron, one that nobody anticipated, setting off whispers of a game-changing return. The energy in the arena was electric, palpable, a combination of anticipation and fear. Everyone backstage held their breath, aware that the ratings spike or crash was imminent. Tony Khan's gamble was audacious. He had rewritten nearly half of the show, moved segments around, and strategically placed a shocking return to maximize audience retention. Fans couldn't believe insiders confirmed that even the wrestlers involved were only told hours before the live broadcast. Producers frantically communicated via earpieces, ensuring camera angles, pyro cues, and ring entrances were flawless. Viewers on social media went wild again as hashtags began trending worldwide, some praising the unpredictability, others speculating disaster. The first match hit like a thunderbolt. The audience erupted into chaos as a mid-card star executed a sequence that had been meticulously choreographed to wow both the live crowd and viewers at home. Every move, every taunt, every near fall was designed to regain trust, recapture engagement, and reverse the 18% ratings drop. Fans couldn't believe the level of precision involved, and social media commentary skyrocketed as clips went viral in real time. The momentum was building, but tension remained. One misstep could undo all the careful planning Tony Khan had imposed. Then came the climax, the shocking twist that had leaked days earlier. A top star thought to be sidelined for months returned mid-match, altering the outcome entirely. Viewers on social media went wild as GIFs and short clips flooded the platforms. The crowd erupted into chaos, chanting the returning star's name. Backstage, Tony Khan was reportedly pacing nervously but allowed himself a faint smile, knowing the gamble was paying off. Wrestlers exchanged astonished glances, realizing that this single moment could define AEW's trajectory for months to come. By the end of the show, the numbers told a story of redemption. Overnight ratings showed a partial recovery, signaling that fans responded to the bold moves. However, insiders cautioned that the battle was far from over. The locker room remained tense. The creative team still faced pressure, and networks continued monitoring AEW's every step. Tony Khan had survived the immediate crisis, but the underlying issues, audience retention, storytelling, consistency, and talent satisfaction were far from resolved. As fans celebrated, one chilling message circulated online. Another twist, even bigger and more unpredictable, is coming next week. And now, the question haunting every wrestler and executive is, can AEW maintain momentum, or will the next gamble finally push it over the edge?